Good morning and welcome to Daily Prayer. Today is Thursday, and as we continue our look at the book of Jonah, we find him unmasked and held responsible for the plight of his ship in a terrible storm. And so as we enter prayer now, let's pause to be still, to breathe slowly, to recenter our scattered senses upon the presence of God. Some words from Psalm 23 to reflect upon. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in right paths for his name's sake. Jonah chapter 1 verses 11 to 17. Then they said to him, "What must we do to you that the sea may become quiet for us? For the sea is more and more tempestuous." He said to them, "Lift me up and hurl me into the sea. Then the sea will become quiet for you. For I declare it is on my account that this great storm has come upon you." Nevertheless, the men rowed harder than ever to get back to the dry land. But they could not, for the sea grew more and more tempestuous around them. Therefore they called out to the Lord, "O Lord, do not let us perish because of this man's life, and do not lay his innocent blood upon us. For you, O Lord, have the power to always do what you want." So they lifted Jonah and hurled him into the sea, and at that the sea ceased from its raging. Then the men were seized by a great fear of the Lord, and they offered a sacrifice to the Lord and made solemn vows. And the Lord appointed a great fish to swallow up Jonah. And Jonah was in the belly of the fish for 3 days and 3 nights. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. As the tempest rages for the first time, Jonah considers the plight of the sailors before himself. He knows the only way to quell the raging winds is to throw himself on the mercy of the Almighty. Amazingly, the sailors don't throw him into the waves immediately, but try to row for shore. And only when this is clearly impossible do they eject Jonah from the boat. And instantly there is calm. Mark tells in his Gospel of the disciples crossing the Sea of Galilee with Jesus, also being caught in a violent storm. And fearing their boat will be lost, they approached Jesus and found him asleep on a cushion in the stern. Jesus calmed the storm with a word. And like Jonah's crewmates, the disciples were amazed. But although there are similarities between the two accounts of peril on the sea, Jonah is not Jesus. He has no power to calm the storm of himself. But God is the same God, now and always, whose nature is always to have mercy. And his mercy extends immediately to the pagan seafarers, and shortly afterwards to Jonah himself. Let's take a moment to reflect on where we find ourselves in the toils and struggles of everyday life? Have we made it to the green pastures, to safe anchorage? Or are we in the dark valleys of fear and anxiety, tossed about by life's storms? Let's listen and hear God say to you, I've got this. Faithful God, we thank you for your grace and mercy towards us. Thank you that as we walk through the troubles of this life, that you are there, our support and shield. And as we close, we take some time to remember someone we know who is in need of the knowledge of God's peace today.